Now, she's fine. Let's start there.
She's doing great.
I like to tell a story, but I'm not going to let anybody think that this little girl didn't end up fine. We are Petra and Kat. Come along as we share travel tips and discover new and unforgettable destinations. From hidden gems to popular landmarks, we hope our travel tales will inspire you to embark on your own adventures.
Welcome to the channel.
I'm Petra.
And I'm Kat.
And today we're talking about an excursion on Raiatea in French Polynesia.
Yay!
It's day 21, and we are at our third port in French Polynesia, Raiatea, which was a beautiful port. We got some really great footage of the port itself from the ship early in the morning.
Yes, it was. It was very pretty, but it was a little cloudy.
Yeah, it was overcast, and there wasn't really any forecast of rain specifically, but we were actually okay with it being a little overcast just because it wasn't as hot.
Yeah, and the sun is not as intense.
We took a tender from the ship over to the port. We wandered around the port a little bit before we got to our excursion gathering area, where we were met by a man in full Polynesian garb.
It was so cool. He was amazing.
And he even played his, I guess it's called a conch or conch. Listen.
Playing horn. Very good.
We took a boat ride over to another island.
It was a long boat ride.
It really was.
Yeah, because he sang some songs, and people. It wasn't a lot of people in the boat either. It was nice.
So then we got to the first of the two parts of the excursion, which was a tour of a vanilla farm.
And just coming up to the island was so pretty. It felt very tropical, like something different than Hawaii. It was just, I couldn't understand where we were going exactly and where an actual farm was on this little island.
So we get off the little boat, we go down the road, we go up a road, we go down around the corner, and boop, there we are at a vanilla farm.
And they had a dog.
They did have a dog.
They had a dog.
And we had a little lecture about how the vanilla is grown. We sat behind this sweet little family, mom and dad, and a little boy, maybe 5, and a little girl who was maybe 3. And those parents were so well prepared. I was really impressed. They had snacks, they had activities, no screens, bonus for that. And they just kept the kids entertained so that they weren't disturbing the adults around them.
And this is when the rain started, right?
Oh, yes. After the lecture, which was covered,
Yeah.
we had to walk across a little area to get to the little shop, which was covered.
Yeah.
And then we had to walk back to the little boat, which was not covered.
Which was fine though, because these excursions, they go rain or shine, and we expected it, so we were prepared.
We're sitting in the boat. There were actually 2 boats sort of together, and we didn't know quite what we were waiting for. And then our host, the one in full Polynesian garb, who had been joking with us the entire time, comes to the boat and says, "Is anybody here a doctor?" And I thought he was joking. So I said, "No, but I've watched ER." That went over very poorly because they actually needed a doctor.
It was definitely the first time we've been on an excursion where there was a true emergency.
So we were sitting in our little boat, and the other little boat, the little girl that we were talking about, had a seizure. Now, she's fine. Let's start there.
She's doing great.
I like to tell a story, but I'm not going to let anybody think that this little girl didn't end up fine. But there was some time where she wasn't breathing, and they were doing CPR. And over both boats, we all just sort of sat in silence. And this one sweet older lady, had nothing to do with the family, was keeping the little boy occupied so that he couldn't, be worrying about his sister. We all sat in silence in the pouring
Pouring
rain. Not a single person uttered a single complaint.
No.
We were all just holding our breath, hoping that this little girl would be fine. And I will tell you, between the tour operators and Royal Caribbean, these people know how to handle an emergency.
Yeah, and what seemed like a half an hour really truly was only like 15 minutes, but you could finally see a sigh of relief in the other boat. You could just see almost everybody exhale, and so the little girl started breathing again, but they still called an ambulance, and an ambulance came and took the family and made sure that they got the care that they needed.
So once we saw them loading the little girl on the ambulance, all of us in our little boat are like, we are soaked to the skin. We are saturated emotionally from what we've just been through.
Yep.
We don't really want to go do this picnic, do we?
Yeah, there was a picnic. That was the second half of the excursion.
And we all kind of collectively decided we weren't doing the picnic, but we forgot to tell anybody else that. And so we did the picnic. We rode to another island.
Tiny little island.
In the pouring rain. Got off the little boat, and it was very sheltered. The island itself was sheltered with lots of trees. So you could sort of hide in the trees from the rain. This particular little island must be used on a regular basis by Windstar Cruises because they had this cool little sign. So it was quite nicely appointed.
And they had a dog.
And they had a dog.
That I got to hold.
And then they served lunch, and as they're serving lunch, the fog starts to lift. It stops raining. I get in the water. I start swimming. I'd rather swim than eat. And then they finally come and drag the few of us that were in the water out of the water. We had a really nice lunch. And then I took some really pretty videos of the island when it was finally sunny out.
Everybody felt better. Everybody was so happy we did it.
And we got note from the tour guide that the little girl was good and they had released her to go back to the ship. So we all cheered for that. And then we all got back on our little boats and it started to rain again.
It started to rain again. And it was pretty cold this time because this was a kind of, the main island was quite a ways from where these two little islands were. So it was pouring rain, and you know when you're in a boat going fast, it was freezing. But we all just sucked it up and had a good time, and it was fine.
We wrapped ourselves in our already wet towels just to keep the wind out of our ears. I mean, looking back, it's hysterical. In the moment, not so much.
Not so much. But I think we say this all that every excursion is perfect. I will say that this is the first time we've ever encountered an emergency, but I was just so impressed with how everybody in the staff and the crew handled it. They did a great job.
When we got back to the port, we got in line for the tender. We got onto the tender, and of course, everybody on the tender is soaked to the skin, except for this one family of four, which is somehow remarkably dry. And they're sitting across from us, and I said, "How are you dry?" And she says, "We came over on the tender, saw how bad it was, and decided not to even get
yes.
But they ended up, getting peripherally wet from everybody around them.
Do you know, out of all the cruises we've done, this is the first time ever that it's rained when we were in port that I remember. Ever.
I think that's definitely a possibility. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, we were so cold, but when we got back to the ship, we went immediately to the hot tubs. We did not pass go. We did not collect $200. We went directly to the hot tubs, got warm, had a drink, closed out the night with some karaoke. It was a blast. We absolutely recommend this specific excursion, just without the medical drama attached to it.
Yeah, so it was wonderful.
We'll post the information about it in the description.
Sorry.
Okay, finish chewing.
Trying to hurry up.
Coming up soon, we're going to talk about some more sea days. We're going to answer some burning questions about this big trip we're on. So make sure you check back.
And if you have any questions about what we're doing or how we're doing it or why we're doing it, please put them in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them.
Comment, subscribe, like, share, and come back and see us again.
Goodbye. Bye.